Hi, everybody. This is Carlos, President of CTD Development Services Incorporated. Here to talk to you one more time about what's going on in our public schools. It's been probably about a month and a half since I last spoke to anybody, really. Uh, you're either doing the work or you're talking about doing the work. And so I figured I'd come back at you the next time I had something interesting to share. And so I do. And I have a little presentation here for everybody that I wanted to share with you today. And so the title is A Venice Senior High School Parents Analysis of the 2020-2021 School Plan for Student Achievement. The subtitle reads, Delving into the Data and the Plan to Separate Perception from Reality, Operate from a Place of Truth, and Secure a Dignified Future for all Venice Senior High School students. It's pretty deep. The problems that we have in our schools are deep and we're asking the wrong questions. And so I want to get you guys interested in what's going on. For those of you who don't know my organization, our mission is to compel, train, and enable K-12 parents to transform their public schools into 21st century civic centers and learning communities. Alrighty, and so as I walk you through this presentation, this is what I hope the takeaway is for all of us. And it's, what it is a lot of realizations, right? So I hope that you realize that our school system, all the way through the university system, is as broken as our government and with consequences that are just as severe. I also hope that you realize that you can no longer ignore what I keep bringing to the table, because I'll keep on bringing it. I'm not going to stop. But the sooner people start getting on board and saying and realizing, you know what, it doesn't matter where I turn, where I go, no matter where I place my child, no matter if I homeschool, our schools are hubs for society. They are the incubators for the future of society. And so whether you run away, you hide, uh, there's nowhere to go because those that surround us are affected and they affect us. I hope that you realize that it's going to require us, the parents of kids that are going to the schools, to be the ones that rescue our public school system. Hope you realize that, even if you're in agreement with me, that you can't just run out and try to challenge the system because there's a lot to learn. And what you learn has to be the right material. Otherwise, you could spend your time spinning your wheels, focusing on things that really don't matter. And ultimately, I hope you feel the confidence, the trust to contact me and say, you know what, I'd like to learn more about what you're thinking, what your plan is, and how we go about making things better. So why talk about this now, though? Okay, because I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna start I used to blur out certain things. I used to not name names. I used to not even mention the names of the schools that my daughters attend, and that's over. Okay, it's over because there's an urgency. Alrighty, when like I said, one of the urgencies is that this program of the school site council, this ability for parents to actually vote on something, and it's not just so much the budget that you manage, it's, parents who have no educational background get the opportunity to learn, to participate. This is probably the lowest level of government that is, but it is actually part of the government, because you manage a government program, a federal government program at that. And you'll see, holy cow, the red tape for $1 million, not worth it. But what is worth it is the ability to participate, to build relationships with the school community, and then to be a leader in your community, which I know a lot of people right now, they feel a little constrained, a little bit limited. This is an opportunity to actually go out there and talk about things that matter right at home. All right. Never mind the swamp. What's happening at home. All righty. And so I see a lot of missed opportunity that we're letting, go to waste. and I want more parents to get involved, because maybe the ones that are in there right now, not just in my school, but you know, nationwide, maybe aren't the most equipped, the most well versed, right? At talking about budgets, at talking about planning, at talking about reflection, at doing root cause analysis. We need you guys, the guys who know, guys and gals who know how to do this stuff already, have the humility to join us, uh, the goodwill, benevolence to join us, and let's do something. Some of these solutions are simple. And so the other reason I want to talk about this now is because there's an invisible elephant in the room, and until we address these things that we choose to ignore, uh, progress is not going to be made. And so, what are some of those? You know, we have a lot of well-intentioned people, good people, nice people, friendly people, would do anything for you type of people, but their interpretation of the policy is off. Their execution is poor, and by poor I mean, you know, in the just the creation of the plan, the socialization of the plan, and the worst part of it is there really isn't any intent to problem solve. It's about the mentality I see is putting bandages on stuff, going outside of ourselves to find a solution, without ever reflecting and saying, what are we doing wrong? What can we do better? Why is it that we keep on doing the same things and expecting different results and then being thoroughly disappointed? But you know, it's even more basic than that. Just the fact that things are done to the convenience of those that work at the school. Alrighty, so the meetings have to be at a certain time. Usually, when people are not, I mean, are working, they're not available. I mean, COVID has changed things a little bit that way, you know, and so it actually makes it great for me. But it doesn't work for everybody. And if you can't make it, but you're interested, sorry, you know, this is when we meet, and that's that. And that's not how this is supposed to work. Last meeting I was at the school site council for the school site council at Venice High, we were supposed to look at data and then approve our monitoring of the plan or implementation of the plan by looking at data. You know, and what we were told was, you know, I didn't have time, or we don't have any data. This is all I have. Uh, and then, but we got to keep moving because, you know, at 4:30 we have another meeting. I was like, no, no, no. Our problems are deep at the schools. You can't let the calendar or the schedule or the agenda dictate, you know, meaningful conversation, because that's part of the problem is we're lacking meaningful conversation even as a society. Now, you know, a president governs, you know, 256 characters at a time. It's bullshit. Already. And so the work has been rushed. The data analysis was superficial. There wasn't even any data analysis. It was more like the last 30 minutes, I swear, the rest of us sat there while we watched three of the teachers just from memory talk about, yeah, we have this program going on. Oh yeah, we have this program going on. And then we voted. I'm like, what are we voting on? That we are monitoring, you know, our plan implementation? Wasn't happening. So I abstained, but everybody else voted for it, you know, and this was after the parents there, the other parents were thoroughly disappointed, because the big accomplishment with the school site council the previous year was, you know, agreeing that we were going to hire an extra counselor. Okay, we have four. This was going to be a fifth, specifically to attend to our special ed and our English learner students. And then the principal comes to us this time, you know, at the meeting and says, uh, yeah, we still have, you know, this is the second meeting now where, oh, well, the paper is still stuck in HR. Probably because the paper was submitted at a poor time, right? But also, you know, we're looking at it like, wait a minute. So, you know, then we find out that two counselors are going to go on maternity leave. So now, not only are we not up by one, we'll soon be down by two, right? And but somehow the conversation detoured into talking about hiring an IT guy with this Title I money, that it's some extra $100,000 that we got from the district. And the conversation about the counselors is done. It's like, what's going on here, right? And so then we didn't get to do any of the analysis, right? Because we got to go. And it's like, there's something wrong with that mentality. The work, you stop working when the work is done. And that's not happened, right? And so it got tabled. Uh, and then there's all this rush about, well, we better hurry up and make a decision and submit our request because it has to be approved before a certain date. To be continued. All righty. But yeah, no sense of urgency, right? So we got our first school site council training this past Saturday, November 6th. It's the 12th week of school. Do you realize there's only 36 weeks of school in the school year, right? 180 days. Divide that by 5, 36 weeks. So 1/3 of the school year is behind us. And we're just barely getting training on stuff that wasn't that earth-shattering. I knew everything that was on there already because I do my homework. And parents, you need to do your homework. But here's the next worst part, right? We're trying to make improvements at the school, which means that we're going to have to make some changes, which means that sooner or later, we're going to have to challenge the status quo. But now the training is given by district personnel. People who are on the district payroll cannot lead this process. Okay, let me repeat. People that are on the district payroll cannot lead this process, cannot train the school site council, cannot, because you need to train us by giving us all the information so that we can challenge status quo at the appropriate time with the appropriate tools. You're not going to want to be the district employee who's known for throwing the district under the bus, throwing the school under the bus, giving them, juicy information that helps us, earn a victory. Even if you love parents and you love children and you're a proud LAUSD parent yourself, we know that you're not going to give us everything that we can use or have in order to be an equal partner with the school district. Okay, it's just not going to happen. The status quo is not going to train you to challenge it. Bottom line. Other problem. You can be educated as hell, but if you don't have a background in education and understand how the inner workings work, then you're a rookie member, and you're dealing with master bureaucrats. And I'm talking about principals and the Title I coordinator. They're master bureaucrats, of the system that they live in every day. Excuse me. You really have to do your homework to be able to go, wait a minute, no, that's not how the policy works. And then it takes some balls to say, time out, come on. You're breaking the rules. You're supposed to have a parliamentarian, which is supposed to be the rule person, but that person is new on our team. And it's actually one of the students, which I have nothing against, the student doing it, because, hey, a lot of these students are smarter than we, the adults, right? But he's a kid. He's never had to tell another adult, hey, time out, right? And so, we have a lot of things playing against us right now. And so we have that going on. And so it's really hard. It's an uphill battle, and it can be nerve-wracking. Even if, and I've stood up and spoken up every time that I felt like it. For some reason, the fact that my kid goes there, and the fact that I don't want to fight these people, I want to draw them into a collaborative process that leads to something better. It's keeping me from just right and calling things out. But on the flip side, it's going to have to happen. And it'd be nice that if there were more of us synchronized, doing it at the same time, different location, same location, doesn't matter. But we're still building some critical mass. All right. And so another problem. And I won't read the rest to you. I'm going to post this presentation on my website. But here's another one that you all need to hear right now. We place a lot of trust in the staff that works at the school. We're talking about office staff, administrative staff, teachers. We put a lot of trust in them to tell us the truth, to, speak from fact, not from perception, um, to know how to run a school site council, how to run a school site council meeting, how to do the documentation. Why would you think that? These are either administrative clerks or educators, not business people. And I've investigated some teacher and administrative training programs. Stuff that we are doing is not taught at the schools of education, which means we have to hold them accountable too, but I haven't gotten to them yet. I will. But in any case, that's the big elephant in the room. Uh, Not the right attitude. If you boil it down to one thing, it's not the right attitude. We're not putting kids first. And, you know, things move at the pace that they move, regardless of the urgency behind what the data says. But here's the truth, right? And the truth is that the solutions to the problems our school face today have very little to do with money. All right, so we could throw that budget out the window, that 1.1 million for all I care, because I can tell you ahead of time, it ain't gonna do much. Even if it was better than what it is, it ain't gonna do much, because the best things in life are free. Alrighty. Why do I say that? Because attitude adjustments, free. Striving for excellence, free. Choosing to plan and prepare so that you don't have technical problems with your computer at every freaking meeting, free. Respecting the rules to ensure, that were created for the school site council to ensure we have parity, free. Challenging your prejudices and misconceptions, it's tough, but free. Choosing to take a risk to advocate for young people is tough also, but it's free. And if you're a teacher, you're so well protected by your union, you are the second most important element in making our schools better, teachers, and you should take the risks. You have most of the power, and you're well protected. We would be great allies to you, but we have to get there. Uh, Going to YouTube or the internet in general to learn how to become better at leading, managing, teaching, collaborating, with the exception of your monthly internet bill, free. Okay? Uh, it's time to switch our angle. It's time to switch our lens. It's not about the money. We could throw double the money at the schools right now, unless we have that attitude adjustment. Get rid of the elephant in the room. No change is going to happen. No improvement's going to happen. We're going to continue failing our youth.
One day when I was riding on the train, I seen these two kids talking about the Nubian rain had fallen. I didn't say nothing cause these kids caught my goat. Even for my coat, like a murder that they wrote. So this kid with mouth swagger now blazed the cloak and dagger. So I got to show Dukes the martial arts that I am. I could rock a jam, make the world drop ham. Oh yes, I'm the madman, and bad men we're black. And if it comes to dropping bombs, yo, I'm with that.